Hi, thanks for joining the webinar. I'm going to keep this really quick because I know everybody is overloaded with information at the moment. And I just want to share a few pieces of information and resources and some links rather than going into the detail. It's a very difficult time for businesses and for everyone in general. And I'm hoping that just sharing this might help speed up a few pieces for you. Okay, so just what I'm going to run through, some priorities, what other people are doing at the moment now, what their immediate reactions are, some of the supports and schemes and where to get the information, small little bit on cash flow and other supports that might be out there. So the priorities, I would have to say, number one in this situation is yourself, number two, your staff, number three, your customers, and then after that, suppliers, banks, and revenue. We need to be careful that we don't overcommit to anyone in that other category initially, and put pressure on the top three, or the whole chain will fall down. So what some people are doing at the moment that we're seeing: full closure, layoff. Certain industries, there's just closed, hospitality, etc. Others, where they can, they're short time layoff. They're putting in shift rotas where people are working every second day on short time or whatever combination they can manage. Other businesses, we've seen them just a straight 10%, 20%, 30% pay cut. Others are trying to get staff to take leave now so that when things get busy again, they won't have a backlog of holidays to be taken. Others getting rid of any new hires or anyone who's on the cards to be hired. The cancelling of non-key personnel or anyone on a probationary contract. Some sales reps are being spoken to about being put on a commission only. Now, what I would say about all of this is I'm not advocating any of it. I'm not advising from a HR point of view. So you need to check it out, that you can do it from a HR and a legal point of view. On the operational side, what we're seeing is obviously remote working, which I think for sectors that seems to have been quite successful. I know the IT companies are very busy with a spike at the moment. Other clients, we're seeing them, they're obviously quiet, jobs cancelled. They're trying to eat into a backlog of admin or marketing compliance jobs and projects and backlogs that have been there. Others are seeing if there was a job they haven't started yet, but it's available to be started, and they pull it in and keep going. Others have just skeleton crew. So obviously that has its own implications as to what capacity you have. And then, like I said, the IT companies, I'm sure the telephone companies, anyone selling home offices, desks, anything is seeing a huge surge with the whole panic buying concept as well. So there's that initial spike, and there's an inevitable fall off after that to come. So as I said, there's a huge amount of information out there, and I think it's careful. You need to be careful not to overload. And you're going to hear stuff. You won't hear it in the pub like usual because you won't be there, but you're going to hear this guy said this and the other guy said that. So what I've done is I've put a page on our own website with some of the links to the official government, revenue, social welfare, those pages, because there's loads of articles and loads of information, but I think on this you need to go straight to source. So you can check that page out. There's a link to the government supports page, which is very good. The bits that you've been hearing, the details are on it. Revenue have two pieces out. One there, the Revenue Commissioner's guidance, and the employer refund scheme. So the guidance speaks about if you can't pay your VAT this month or PAE, there's going to be no interest charged. The employer refund scheme is where you staff who you've had to lay off and the government will refund you. So effectively, you act as the social welfare office from a cash flow point of view. I've also put up the application forms and the guidance on the people who have been laid off, and I will as well put up this webinar. I've also added one more as well, which you're talking about in a second. I've a cash flow template, which isn't on that slide there. So just on cash flow, obviously, I can't stress enough the need. You know, people have different methods of doing it. Some are very scientific and precise. Others do it on the page and it works fine for them. But whatever way you do it, you need to do it now more than ever. So I've put up a template there that you can click and open. It's an Excel sheet that you can use and keep updating it then as you go. So it's really, really important. Let's just go back. What costs can we save at the moment? I think everyone is looking at that. Get out the bank statements for the last few months and just, if you're not that familiar with what has been out, look at it in detail and see what are the non-essential areas. What costs can be deferred? So there might be costs that aren't crucial right now that can be left off. You will still incur them, but maybe at a better time down the line when there's a bit more cash available. Similarly, capital expenditure might have to wait. If you were planning on work or new equipment, you might have to defer it. Have a look at your own customer base and see who's going to be in trouble and who do you need to engage with early. There's no point in putting the head in sand in this. Communication is going to be absolutely key. Get out there and talk to them on the phone from a distance if possible. But communication, and the same, obviously, communication piece goes for you with your suppliers and your banks and your revenue. So yeah, that's a point there. Just engage with the banks and anyone that you might owe money to already. They're not going to be surprised to get the call, but get on the system. I've left this slide in from an old presentation just because I think it's important to try and remember, while the posts have shifted hugely, the basics are still the basics. And of course, not going to be able to do this in the way that you would have done before, but you still need to try and do it. You still need to have a business plan. You still need to hire the best staff that you can afford. That might be at a different pay level than it was before, but you still need the best that you can afford. Your 80-20 rules are still there, that you've got your key customers that are giving you most of your profit. You know, you still, new revenue sources, it all still applies. It's just all these things you're going to have to look in a slightly different place. So another slide I've just left in, I think, you know, it's so daunting at the moment for everybody. There's carnage out there at the moment, carnage and chaos, and I think we're all nearly dazed. So just to try and focus, and we've left the Henry Ford in, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're probably right. I think it's difficult to have that positive mindset at the moment, but it's really important that we do. We're there. Please do ring or email if you need help. The resource page is on the website, and I think communication is the most important thing on this. So please absolutely contact us and we'll help you if we can. Thanks, and don't forget to have a look at the website.